Good morning. My name is Vicki Beevers, and I am the CEO and the founder of the Sleep Charity. I'm also honoured to be the co-chair of the Small Charities Advisory Panel, and I'm delighted to be welcoming you to Small Charity Week. It's a really important week for those of us that work in small charities, and there is a whole host of things planned that are so valuable in terms of supporting our growth and our development. So make sure you check out the timetable for the week. So today, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the Small Charities Advisory Panel if you've not already come across our work. I'm also going to be giving an introduction to Small Charity Week and why I believe it's so important. We're going to look as well at the state of the sector and towards the future. So first of all, in terms of the Small Charities Advisory Panel, so what do we do? Well, we champion the voice of small charities. We recognise that actually, we're under a great deal of strain at the moment, and we want to be out there shouting about the fantastic work that is happening in communities that actually is hugely cost saving and also incredibly beneficial to so many people across the country. So the Small Charities Advisory Panel was created following the closure of the Small Charities Coalition. And those services are currently being delivered by NCVO. And then sadly, in spring 2023, we also heard the sad news that FSI was going to be closing. So we've been fortunate to be able to work with them as well and to be supportive around ensuring that the great work and particularly the training that they sort of developed will not be lost. So our role as a panel is independent and we're playing an advisory role. We intend to hold the NCVO accountable and also any future partners that we may work with. So small charities are at the heart of all of the panel members, and what we want to do is to ensure that small charities don't just survive, they actually thrive. In terms of who we are, well, a recruitment process took place around about 12 months ago now, and this was to appoint 14 diverse panel members, and that has been successfully achieved. So on the panel, we have representatives from small charities, so other small charity leaders like myself. We also have representation from infrastructure organisations and from funders. And there is a huge amount of knowledge and expertise sitting in that room. The panel meet quarterly, and our vision is that over the next 5 years, small voluntary organisations will continue to be at the heart of our communities. And we also hope that by 2028, they will be better resourced and supported to play the vital role that they do play in our communities. We also want them to be better understood and valued by the government, funders, and other sectors. Our vision is also that small charities are connected to each other and to the wider voluntary ecosystem with improved collaboration, because we know that by working together, we're stronger. We also want diversity to be represented in both local and nationally with key decision makers. And we want them to be serviced by the infrastructure bodies with improved partnership working and initiatives. So what do we actually do? Well, the most important thing we do is to listen to small charity leaders, listen to those who work in small charities and engage with them. And on the 20th of April this year, we heard from 170 organisations through our online consultation event. So we asked a number of questions, such as what kind of support do small charities need? What did small charities value about the support or the services that FSI offered? And how can the sector continue the legacy of FSI and SCC? And from those conversations, we pulled out some key insights, and they have been published. And they highlight 5 key points that really came through during those discussions. And here are those points. So firstly, we heard that infrastructure organisations should advocate for small charities. We also heard about the importance of building trust between national and local infrastructure organisations. We talked about resources and the real need to develop resources with small charities in mind. And pathways of support was another really important discussion point. So how do small charities know where to go to get the support that they need? And another key factor was the importance of sustainability. How do we ensure that whatever resources are provided are actually sustainable in the long run? So we are working together as a panel at the moment, and you can read those key insights on the NCVO website in much more detail. And we'll also be providing updates about the work that we're doing too. So in the meantime, we've had some practical support from NCVO, who have housed the Small Charity Help Desk. And this provides online help and guidance, and it's free membership for FSI members with an annual turnover under £50,000. You can also access free webinars, which are delivered in partnership with small charities and uploaded onto the YouTube channel. So it's well worth checking those out. It's also a practical support bulletin, which is a really good informative read. And NCVO are also supporting Small Charity Week, which leads me nicely onto the week. So why get involved? Well, Small Charity Week gives us the opportunity to really amplify our voice. And it also helps us to increase understanding around our work nationally. So quite often, members of the public don't understand the important work that small charities are doing. And this gives us a platform to shout out about it. So really take that opportunity this week to celebrate all the good work that you are doing. We can tell our stories through Small Charity Week, really highlight the issues that we know are impacting on our community because we are sharing their lived experience. We also need to highlight that this is a critical time for many of our organisations. We've got the cost of living crisis, which is having a huge impact on communities nationally. We're also finding that our services are needed more than ever. Certainly since the pandemic, as a small charity leader, I can say that our resources have been stretched enormously, and they were already stretched to begin with. But we've got members of the local community who are relying on us for support because it doesn't exist elsewhere. And that's an enormous pressure to be working with. Through showcasing our brilliant work, we can also encourage public giving. And social media can be incredibly powerful around this. So please, please share your stories on social media. Also share posts about Small Charity Week so that other organisations can find out about the work that we're doing and also can access the brilliant support and advice that's going to be available throughout this week. So turning to look at the state of our sector now, and I know that it's not just my organisation that has been facing mounting pressure. I liaise with charities across the country and hear that many of you are also struggling with this increased demand and lack of resources. And we know that it's not just the cost of living crisis that has led to this. We've also had COVID-19, which has also put many small charities under an enormous amount of pressure. So if you are seeing an increase in demand and a reduction in resources, then you are not alone. What we're finding is that larger charities are growing bigger. And sadly, smaller charities are getting smaller or even closing. It's becoming increasingly challenging to recruit volunteers and increasingly challenging to recruit trustees as well. And funding has always been an issue in our sector. And right now, it's even more difficult than ever to be able to access the financial support that we need under this enormous pressure that we're facing. But if we can work together, we will be stronger. So what I'd like to call on you to do today is to help us to make a real difference. Our collective voices will allow us to influence change. And working together, we can become more resilient. It's our collective responsibility to champion the work of small charities. And that's never been more needed than it is right now. So it's now time for us to step up together and to be united. Enjoy Small Charity Week. Enjoy meeting new people. And please tweet about your activities. Please share your good news stories on social media. We are using 2 hashtags this week. So hashtag Small Charities Together and also hashtag Small Charity Week. I look forward to seeing your stories and thank you for all you do for our local communities. It really is incredibly valuable. Let's work together now so that we don't just survive, we also thrive.